My name is Otis Brown, and I am the author of both How Did We Get Here and Things We Don't Talk About. I'm also the founder of viewsfromthestruggle.com. I'd probably say I began to have a passion for writing back in high school. I had this journalism class where we would just write articles all the time, and I began to realize that I was not only a good writer, but I was passionate about it. Um, Once I graduated from college, I started a blog where I would just talk about different issues affecting our communities. And from there, I decided that I wanted to write a book. Well, like I was saying, I had the blog and I had so much material that was built up on the blog that I figured I should probably put it into a book. And as I continued to see different issues occurring in my community, I figured that I wanted to speak out on those things. And I'm not a very talkative person. I'm not someone who can get up in front of people and just get a message across. So I felt that I should write everything down, put it all in a book, and then get it out to the people. And that would be my contribution to trying to help fix some of the issues that I've been seeing in our communities. Well, more than anything, I would say the biggest obstacle was just writer's block. There was a lot that I wanted to talk about, but it's hard to fit everything into a book and make it cohesive. So it's kind of like I would just write and write and write, and then you got to go back and figure out how to put it all together, how to make it flow. And then there were just times where I just didn't know what I wanted to write about because there's so many issues that affect our communities, and it's kind of hard sometimes to narrow down what's the most important, what do you want to talk about. And then it's a lot of research as well that goes into writing a book like that because you don't want to just give your opinion, you want to give some historical aspect of it as well. So I would say writer's block more than anything, and also just the research aspect of it because, you don't just want it to be opinion. You want people to know that you know what you're talking about. So those were the things that probably were the most difficult. I think everybody can benefit from it. I think those who have experienced what I've experienced, grew up in an environment like I've grown up in, they can most easily relate to it. But it might be even more important for people that aren't from this type of place to read it because it gives them perspective on what we go through on a day-to-day basis. So the people in my community, they know what we go through, but those people on the outside, they have certain views often about us, and they actually have no idea of the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So I think both people, young and old, from the inner city and those who might have only experienced the inner city from the things they see on TV, I think everyone can benefit from reading it. Like I was saying earlier, my inspiration just comes from the things that I see every day. So in the book, you'll see topics like police brutality. And whether you're looking on the news or whether you're in your own community, if you live in communities like we live in, you see stuff like that every day. And it might not be someone getting killed per se, but you might roll past a situation where a cop is just throwing somebody on the ground for no reason, and they're using their power in ways that they shouldn't. I talk about things like mass incarceration because I've seen people that I went to school with, high school, whatever, end up doing way more time than they deserved because of minor drug offenses and things like that. So my inspiration comes, unfortunately, from the things that I see almost every day growing up and living now in the community that I live in. And now I see it in the younger generation. I go out and I coach basketball and I see these kids dealing with the exact same things that we dealt with. So that inspires me to try to make a difference, not only for myself and people that are my age, but for these younger kids that are coming up now. I would just say to persevere because there's going to be many instances where you're going to want to give up. You're not going to want to keep writing. Writing is not necessarily an easy thing to do, to just sit down there and get to typing or writing however you do it, and for hours and hours try to think of things and try to put them together so that they sound good. And then once you have written your book, the editing process is a whole another thing that you have to deal with. So the editing process can be even more difficult than writing it because you have your ideas, but editing, you have to be familiar with the English language. You have to be able to say, this isn't the way that it's supposed to be. And I would just say there's going to be people that'll say, you know, you're not going to be able to finish that book, but you got to persevere. And I also would say don't get discouraged. One thing that happened to me is I wrote my whole book up in Microsoft Word, and then I put it in the book format, and it was a lot shorter than I expected it to be, because it looks like it's going to be so much more when you're typing it. So don't be discouraged if you have all these great ideas, you put it together, and then you put it into the book format, and it's a lot less than what you thought. So you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Views from the Struggle. On Twitter, it's minor, MINOR _ majority. Also Facebook, just Otis Brown. That's my personal page. Make sure you go and check out viewsfromthestruggle.com, and that's where you can find all the videos, all the photos, and all the things that we're doing in the community. So thank you to all of those who participated in Black Arts Month here on viewsfromthestruggle.com. It was a great month. We got to highlight a number of great people who are doing amazing things in the community. And not only thank you to them, but thank you to all of you who have tuned in and given of your time to, watch and learn about all these people that are doing amazing things in the arts. So thank you to you as well.